Hi guys, welcome to the Truth Factor where we do headlines with attitude. I didn't even get a chance. I just walked in the door, I poured me a glass of tea and I sat down, guys. We got back a little late. I had to make a stop at the Dollar Tree to try to get some little trash bags for my bathroom trash can. And we always have to pick up Abby at 7, so I tried to schedule it for as late as I could. Anyway, I want to share this one article. We're going to go ahead and share this out, guys. We have all these articles in the Wixit in the description of the box below. But I have this article, guys. I'm gonna see one second. I got to it's sad. You have to, I think, maybe Hal may have taken a hit, guys, and I am. There we go.
All right. What are you looking for?
Okay. So every now and then, I do something smart, and for whatever reason, the article was still open on my phone, so I was able to screenshot this one article that it seems, unless it was just a glitch earlier. Let's take a look. Okay. I knew there was something up. Okay. So he had quite a few articles that I wanted to cover, and I didn't get a chance to archive them, and I didn't get to screenshot every single one of them, but I did get the one. But anyway, he had malicious activity that deleted the entire news story database. Early in the evening on December 7th, malicious activity deleted the entire news story database on this website. All stories going back to the year 2019 are gone. Wow. The template data for this site is mostly intact. The streaming audio servers are separate component or separate servers located in a separate data center, and they are working. The radio show will air normally. Audio archives are also located on a separate server and yet a third separate data center. They are too working. He has backup of the news story database and can restore that, but it will take some time. So it looks like I published something that someone didn't want known. They attacked it and killed it. Okay, guys. I don't know which one of his stories they didn't want out there, but let me tell you, he had some good ones. And that's what I would say as well. Kind of crazy. So for whatever it's worth, I'm going to attempt to share what I can with you guys. I got to stop sharing. I got to pull up. I don't want. Let's see. Exit that. There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I can have all of this up, and then we just go from there. Let's see. Okay. Here we go, guys. So, ha. We're going to go with this, okay, guys? Now, listen. I cannot share this in the Wixit because it is a screenshot. I could probably try, but I don't really have ever much luck with that. So you guys just saw the Hal Turner article talked about malicious activity deleted his entire news story. This is one of those stories that was on his in his lineup, guys. Now, I don't think that this was it, but you just never know. But anyway, it could be, but does look like a pretty interesting story, right? I'd say it does. Anyway, so don't even know what of this I should read or not read, but or just let you guys read it. But here it is. I'm going to leave it up here for just a minute longer. Because it does appear something crazy going on, something crazy happening, just saying. And that might be what got his site took down, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just couldn't tell you. Anyway, guys, absolutely be careful always, Team Angel. So, I'm not going to do anything that I don't think that I can do. But I am going to share as much as I can because I think it's important. Very important. Anyway, so let's continue on with the rest of the stories, guys. We have this here. I think this broke out yesterday, guys, really kind of late. This was one of the articles, and it was, I think, in his lineup of articles. So I don't think this necessarily was one of those articles that he was going to, could have gotten him in trouble. But anyway, this is an article that he had also about the UN secretary invoking Article 99. Now, I don't know if that was one of the articles that was really lengthy or not, but he had one that was quite lengthy. Anyway, so Antonio Guterres warned of a deepening catastrophe in Gaza as he called on the Security Council to act. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter, urging the UN Security Council to act on the war in Gaza. The rare move on Wednesday comes as 15-member Security Council is yet to adopt a resolution calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and their allies. Article 99 allows the Secretary General to bring to the attention of Security Council any matter which, in his opinion, may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. In his letter to the council, President Guterres invoked their responsibility, saying he believed the situation in Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories may aggravate the existing threat to the maintenance of international peace and security. Guterres, who also has been calling for immediate humanitarian ceasefire since October 18th, also described appalling human suffering, physical destruction, and collective trauma across Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. Article 99 is a special power and the only independent political tool given to the Secretary General in the UN Charter that allows him to call a meeting of Security Council on his own initiative to issue warnings about new threats to international peace and security and matters that are not yet on the Council's agenda. So, anyway, does it really matter? We see the UN try to issue something, I think, didn't they, for Russia? And it didn't go over very well. So, will it matter here for Israel? I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I think it's interesting. They pulling out all the stops, aren't they? Anyway, then we also have what I find very disturbing. The IRS is demanding 20,000 people pay back money they received during COVID. What 20,000 people? I don't know. The IRS has initiated a crackdown on dubious employee retention credit, claims mailing over 20,000 disallowance letters to taxpayers and entities that did not exist or had no employees during that eligibility period. Intensifying its scrutiny of the ERC claims as part of the expanded effort to safeguard against fraudulent claims, the revenue watchdog said on Wednesday that it identified a significant number of taxpayers who failed to meet the basic criteria for the credit. Starting this week, the IRS said those deemed ineligible would receive a letter 105C indicating their claim has been disallowed. While the IRS said in October that it already has hundreds of criminal cases being worked with thousands of ERC claims being referred to audit, this group includes entities either not in existence during the eligibility period or without paid employees at that time. The approach includes a special program for business owners, allowing them to voluntarily withdraw pending claims with the IRS if they think they filed an inaccurate tax return, as well as an upcoming disclosure initiative for business owners to return questionable payments to avoid further action. The IRS said it is allowing taxpayers to voluntarily withdraw claims and return questionable payments in response to the aggressive marketing tactics that have targeted small businesses and other organizations. Commissioner Danny Werfel expressed concern over those aggressive marketing leading to ineligible claims, saying in a statement that it's not surprising that we're seeing claims that clearly fall outside of the legal requirements, noting that more letters will be going out in the near future, including both disallowance letters and letters seeking the returns of funds erroneously claimed and received. As we continue our audit and criminal investigation work involving the employee retention credits, we continue to urge people who submitted a claim to review the rules with trusted tax professional, the commissioner said in the statement. If they filed an inaccurate claim, we urge them to consider withdrawing their pending claim or use the upcoming disclosure program to repay improper refunds to avoid further action. Future action, not further, but future. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? Anyway, so then we have 24 million from foreign nationals. House GOP formalizes Biden impeachment inquiry, releases resolution ahead of planned vote. So here we have from Zero Hedge, ahead of next week vote to formally move forward with the Biden impeachment inquiry. Representative Kelly Armstrong, a Republican from North Dakota, has released a 14-page resolution that would authorize this investigation, directing certain committees to continue their ongoing investigation as part of the existing House of Representatives inquiry into whether sufficient grounds exist for the House of Representatives to exercise its constitutional power to impeach Joseph Biden, President of the United States of America, and for other purposes, reads the resolution, which is set for markup on Tuesday, December 12th, putting it on course for a Wednesday vote. Absolutely interesting, isn't it? Just the certain things that are taking place right now. Everything all at once, right? It's time for the House to take the next step in the Biden impeachment investigation and adopt an impeachment inquiry resolution. The White House and multiple witnesses have repeatedly refused to cooperate with the investigation and have rejected subpoenas. Despite the refusal, the investigation has uncovered alarming details that demand further scrutiny, said Armstrong. The Biden family and associates received more than $24 million from foreign nationals. Joe Biden received $200,000 from his brother, James Biden, and the same day, James received $200,000 loan from a failing rural hospital operator. Joe Biden also received $40,000 in laundered Chinese money from his brother and sister-in-law. It's become clear that the Biden family sold influence around the world using Biden's name as the product. An investigation in any jurisdiction around the country would move forward if it had these facts. A vote on an impeachment inquiry puts the House in the best position to prevail in court and uncover the truth, Armstrong continued. Anyway, we're going to jump down here. Constitutionally, it's not required, Speaker said. We're in an impeachment inquiry, then we're in an impeachment inquiry. Lordy, said Jordan. But if you have a vote of the full House representatives and the majority say we're in that official status as part of an overall oversight work of constitutional oversight duty that we have, it just helps us in court. So Democrats in the White House in recent days pointed to previous statements from swing seat Republicans and moderates casting doubt on whether impeachment is warranted. Anyway, here's the resolution. If anybody wants to read it, there's 14 pages of it. Go right ahead. It's in this PDF. I'm going to share just this article for those that may want to. Hi there, Kevin. How are you, honey?
Man, kind of crazy. 45 got impeached for a phone call.
Right.
But Biden can't get impeached for thousands of dollars of bad money.
Right. Absolutely crazy, isn't it?
And there's proof.
Right. Anyway. So, here we are. End time headlines now, guys. Experts sound an alarm in the UK over highly contagious cough capable of fracturing ribs that has soared 250%. Health officials in the UK are warning the public about a concerning rise in whooping cough after cases soared 250% this year. Between July and November, there are 716 reported cases of pertussis, a bacterial infection of the lungs, which is 3 times higher than the same period in 2022. The UK's independent report, citing the UK Health Security Agency, Dr. Gayatri Tanglan, deputy director of the public health programmers at the agency, said the number of infections had decreased during the 19 pandemic due to social distancing and lockdowns policies, but it is now on the rise again, according to the report. Well, yeah, what do you think? Again, they mentioned the lovely little lockdown there. It was on the downcline, but now it's on the increase. Another expert, Professor Bate Campen of London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, told The Sun the rise in cases might be because of missed sleeve appointments, possibly be during the pandemic. Severe disease is almost entirely preventable if the mother is sleeved in pregnancy and her protective antibody reach the baby through the placenta and protect until the baby gets its own sleever, said Kapperman. It is therefore important that everyone looks at their sleever record to check to see if they might have missed this sleever, which is given in routine childhood immunizations and in pregnancy. Pertussis, also called whooping cough, is highly contagious respiratory disease that can cause serious illness, especially in babies and children. It is known for uncontrollable, violent coughing that can make it difficult to breathe, according to the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. In severe cases, an intense coughing can lead to vomiting and sore or even fractured ribs. After fits of many coughs, an infected persons may need to take deep breaths, which result in the whooping sound the disease is named for. Another name for this disease is the 100-day cough because it may last for several weeks or months, the UK National Health Service says. Wow, guys. A lot to know about the whooping cough, right? All right. So then we also have from Zero Hedge here, guys. The Zero Hedge says criminal. The FDA pulls key medications as the new emerges. Toilet paper, water, food, medication. People hoarded these items in 2020 as the world locked down in fear from 19. The FDA demonized and blocked life-saving medications like ivermectin, causing an untold amount of death and paving the way for the even deadlier 19 mRNA sleever. An election year is here, and it's happening again. After decades on the market, the FDA declared that the active ingredient in popular cold medicines like Dayquil, Mucinex, Sudafed, and Theraflu is ineffective. CVS and other pharmacies are pulling the product from store shelves. It's starting to feel like the perfect storm. Remove reliable over-the-counter medications and supplements from the shelves. Use wars and pandemics to enact severe shortages in prescription pharmaceuticals. Force lockdowns to push mail-in voting. And as a bonus, fill big pharma's wallet. What did I tell you? Fill big pharma's wallet by mandating a deadly experimental sleevers. Don't rely on Biden's healthcare system to have your back, whether your crisis comes in the form of a pandemic or something more mundane like a tick bite. You and your family need to be prepared. That's why the wellness company comes in. Guys, I'm not going to read anymore, but there is a thing here. They're trying to sell this medical emergency kit. I would tell you, if you could get it, I think it is definitely going to be well worth its money. So that being said, let's see here, guys. We also have a girl 9 with leukemia faces a 15-month wait for life-saving $10 drug as the U.S. cancer and asthma medicine shortages hit record high. So here are the drugs with shortages: amoxicillin, albuterol, the EpiPen, and flutobrine. I don't know what this one is. We have a couple of these, and we had some albuterol, I think, or no, I don't know if the things that we have, I don't know. We do have some asthma stuff there, but anyway, shortage of life-saving medications have reached a record high in the United States, putting millions of Americans at risk of major relapse and even death. Patients with aggressive blood cancers, life-threatening pneumonia, and mental illnesses are just some of those waiting more than a year for vital medicines, a dailymail.com investigation has learned. One notable medicine in short supply is the antibiotic amoxicillin, used to treat bacterial infections, including the bacterial infection partly driving the so-called white lung outbreak in Ohio and China. The number of medications is just short supply rose nearly 30% between 2021 and 2022 in the U.S., reaching a 5-year record high of 295. And a recent American Cancer Society survey found 1 in 10 patients has been affected by shortages, forcing them to use substitute drugs or delay treatment. One teenager lymphoma patient from Indiana was forced to take a type of chemotherapy that had previously led to life-threatening allergic reaction because the medication he had tolerated was out of stock. Another Florida-based mother of 9-year-old girl with aggressive leukemia was told to expect a 15-month wait for a $10 drug that would save this young girl's life. Most of these drugs are generic medicines, meaning they cost the patient and insurer far less than the branded versions. Now, the crisis, which is impacting America more than any other Western nation, has caught the attention of U.S. politicians. On Tuesday, the U.S. Senate Committee on Finance held a session dedicated to this issue, which featured alarming testimony from doctors on the front line of the crisis. Dr. Jason Weston, director of the Lymphoma Clinical Research Program at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, said the absence of the generic and cheap drugs like flutobrine used to treat the blood cancer literally can be the difference between life and death. Okay, so guys, that's the one I told you I didn't know what it is, and now we do know what it is. Weston adds that the patients with aggressive blood cancers do not have time to wait for drugs, and there is a short supply because there is often a narrow window in which patients can receive life-saving medications. He said, my colleagues have been forced to make possible choices, including to choose which patients will be prioritized to receive potentially curative therapy. We know how to treat cancer, but shortages force impossible choices. We have drugs that are life-saving and shortages that are life-threatening. Experts say a major factor is the U.S. government's failure to regulate profit-hungry drug companies, unlike other nations. And I think this is a travesty, guys. Absolutely ridiculous that something as amoxicillin is in shortage, or an EpiPen, an Albatross. And guys, we have there's a few people in this house that we have to keep our EpiPens, because if not, if we have an allergy, a reaction, it could be life or death. Especially if we don't get to the hospital in time. So this is just crazy, guys. This is absolutely insane. Then we also have from End Time Headlines, drug shortages have now reached record highs. Drug shortages in the U.S. have hit a record high, and lawmakers warn they could mean life or death for millions. And I'm not going to read this because this looks like it's just the same thing from earlier, and it is, but the FDA is currently developing an evaluation system for drug manufacturing practices. We still don't know whether the program would stand up and the metrics would stand up and would do exactly what they want them to do. So I guess they're trying to do something, but who knows? Anyway, we'll just keep an eye on it, guys. That's what we'll do. Any more information on this, if anybody has it, please put it in the comment section. Okay, so then we have from Newsweek, guys. Let's see how everybody is. Hey there, Rip Curl. How are you, brother? No plants. Strain says no plants. He's telling y'all, don't eat the The plans. Anyway, okay. So U.S. is at risk for being dragged into a third war. Imagine, guys, we've already covered um, this a few times, talking in regards to the Venezuela and the neighboring Guyana skyrocket following a controversial referendum that sparked fears of a land grab in South America. So the U.S. military said on Thursday that its Southern Command forces would carry out fight operations with Guyana later in the day, and Washington would continue its commitment as Guyana's trusted security partner. So Sunday, voters in Venezuela backed the proposal of the Venezuelan leader, Maduro, to claim the sovereignty. So we know all about this, guys, but this here is just another place that's talking about the situation. So the UN's top court, International Court of Justice, has said that the caucus should not take any action. They could change Guaido's control over the Escobedo region, but it stopped short of blocking Venezuela's vote. So go figure. Guywan has asked the court to stop the referendum, suggesting Venezuela could take unilateral measures to resolve the controversy with Guywan by formally annexing and integrating into Venezuela all of the territory at issue. Anyway, so it says following the vote, Guyanese President Irfan Ali denounced a direct threat to Guyana's territorial integrity, sovereignty, and political independence. Ali said that the Georgetown would intensify precautionary measures to safeguard its territory, adding that he had spoken with United Nations global leaders and reached out to the U.S. military. The Venezuelan government actions fly in the face of international law and constitute a grave threat to international peace and security, Ali said, as he addressed Guyanese citizens on Wednesday. The language has is clear echoes of the U.S. rationale for its involvement in the ongoing war in the Middle East and Eastern Europe, prompting speculation over how far the U.S. military backing for international peace and order will extend in the Americas. The U.S. is currently providing aid, including military package to Israel, increasing its support in the wake of October 7th. Washington has also thrown its weight behind Kyiv following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Okay, so we're gonna kind of stop here because we're really not. The stuff in Ukraine is fixing to come to kind of a halt here, and we got a couple of articles. So, and I'm leaving that up there because I will show that again at the end of this stream for people that may have missed that because I think it's important. Okay, so here is an article from War News 247 that talks about Ukraine's troubles are are just getting started. They hand over Ukraine to Russia. The U.S. puts a permanent block on its funding, a knife in Kyiv, and from Germany. He is not our ally. Germans and the Americans jump ship. Republicans on Wednesday blocked the emergency spending bill pushed by the Biden administration to fund the war in Ukraine. And in essence, however, it is the Democrats who are handing over Ukraine to Russia and Putin. And that's because all Democrats had to do was change border security policy by blocking 10,000 migrants who cross from Mexico to the U.S. every day. The Democrats did not, and now we can say that the future of Ukraine is extremely bleak. The failed vote highlighted declining support of the United States for continuing to fund Ukraine's war effort, given Russia's entrenched power and the failed Ukrainian counteroffensive. Yep. I'm just going to read the bold stuff, guys. Make no mistake, today's vote will long be remembered, and history will judge harshly those who turned their backs on the cause of freedom, Mr. Biden said Wednesday at the White House. They are willing to literally bring Ukraine to its knees on the battlefield and damage our national security in the process, said Biden. Everyone has been very, very clear on this now. It's time. Senator James Lankford, the Republican chief immigration and border negotiator, told Fox Business before the vote, "We have completely lost control of the southern border, and it is time to resolve this." House Speaker Johnson said that he could not approve any aid to Ukraine without including significant border security measures. I don't believe we should give more than $10 billion to the warmongering far-right Netanyahu government, Saunders said, referring to the Israeli prime minister's ongoing campaign in Gaza. Biden has previously pleaded with Republicans for the package, warning that Russian victory in Ukraine would allow Moscow to attack NATO allies as well as draw U.S. troops into war. If Putin takes over Ukraine, he won't stop there, the U.S. president said, adding, "We cannot let Putin win." If Senate Republicans don't get serious about national security package very soon, Putin will go straight through Ukraine and into Europe. House Democrat leader Chuck Schumer said. The failure in the Senate effectively means that Ukraine was highly unlikely to be able to secure additional U.S. aid before the end of the year and possibly beyond. Germany is not an ally of Ukraine and is not in position to compel it to intervene in any alliance. What a stark change, right? We are doing everything we can. The same goes for almost all of our allies and partners, Pistorius said. Asked if this means the collective West was unable to fight back, the minister said, firstly, we are not allies of Ukraine, which means we are not obliged to intervene under an alliance or any agreement. Pistorius also added that the course of the conflict is difficult to predict, calling for an emphasis to be placed mainly on the sustainability of supplies, despite any problems. So it looks like they are leaving him out to hang dry. It does, it does, it does. It didn't go like they thought, did it? Okay. Then we have from Gateway Pundit. Tucker drops a bombshell. The Biden Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin threatens to send Americans to fight Russia if Congress does not give Zelensky and Ukraine more money. Elon Musk responds. Guys, this is just crazy. America may be on the verge of World War III with the world's largest nuclear power if the most influential conservative media figure is correct. Tucker on Thursday afternoon dropped a bombshell that bidded Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told congressional members in a briefing Wednesday that if Ukraine, Zelensky does not receive more American taxpayer money for Ukraine, he said the regime would send the relatives to fight Russia. This is an open threat to start World War III. Here's Tucker's full shocking post. The Biden administration has openly threatened Americans over Ukraine in a classified briefing in the House yesterday. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin informed members that if they don't appropriate more money for Zelensky, we'll send your uncles, cousins, and sons to fight Russia. Pay the oligarchs or we'll kill your kids. That is crazy, guys. That is absolutely crazy. This stunned Elon Musk, who replied, he really said this? And here's Elon's tweet. Tucker confirmed these were Austin's exact words. He said he really did confirm, and he really did confirmed. Congress is scheduled to hold a vote on an impeachment inquiry next week. It might be a good idea to speed up the timeline and remove Biden from office as soon as possible. Guys, this is just crazy, crazy, crazy that they would literally threaten to send our families into war if we don't up money. God, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. We also have from War News 247, a nuclear bomb from Russia. We will decide with a referendum the annexation of the whole of Ukraine. Will the new Russia army continue the war? A senior Russian official made a shocking statement revealing that the annexation of whole of Ukraine will be decided by a referendum. It is the first time since the beginning of the war that such a thing has been officially heard, a fact that shows that Russia's goals have changed after the collapse of the Ukrainian army and the cessation of funding from the U.S. and perhaps the EU. Until now, Kharkiv, Nikolaev, and Odessa were mentioned as targets, but not the whole country, and certainly not a total annexation of it to Russia. Moscow assurance about the possible annexation of all of Ukraine to the Russian Federation are anything but reassuring for the U.S. The annexation of the whole of Ukraine can be decided by a referendum. If it's people of Ukraine, who could make such a choice as the people of Crimea and other Russian regions have expressed their will to join Russia, said Deputy Chairman of the State Duma Defense Committee, Yuri Shevkin. For the chairman of the Defense Committee of the State Duma to express this opinion means that there are big plans in the Kremlin. His comment, which upset the U.S., came in response to U.S. Senator Chris Murphy's recent statement that Ukraine could return to the control of the Russian Federation. It's a shame that American senators decide about Ukraine. They have driven Ukraine to the point of real collapse. Ukraine is essentially on the brink of an abyss. It has ceased to exist as a state, Yuri Shavakin said, adding that Russia's primary goal is to achieve the goals of the special military operation. Chris Murphy, a member of the U.S. Senate from Democratic Party, expressed the view of the Ukraine could become a part of Russia if the U.S. fails to approve an additional aid package to the former Soviet Republic for 2024. We're going to just jump down here, guys. Many of Ukrainian prisoners want to stay in Russia because they understand that once they return to Ukraine under an exchange agreement, they may face criminal cases for captivity and are absolutely sure to be sent to the front lines. The Ukrainian government said earlier that about 35,000 Ukrainian soldiers are being held captive in Russia. In addition, the first volunteer battalion, composed entirely of former Ukrainian soldiers, was formed at the end of October after prisoners of war decided to fight the Russian army. Anyway, guys, the United States is unable to provide Ukraine with any assurances regarding further assistance in light of their position of Congress. Unfortunately, we cannot promise that there will be another way to get even a little help to Ukraine if the budget is not passed and as a package by Congress. The president is willing to talk to the Republicans, but he won't back down. There are a few weeks left, then the resources for Ukraine will run out. Yep, guys. It looks like the love affair is ending soon, and Ukraine is at threat to be back with the old Russia, the USSR, I guess. Well, they call it that. I don't know, guys. Kind of crazy, right? All right. Then we also have shots fired outside of upstate New York synagogue on the first night of Hanukkah tonight. Shots were fired outside of the synagogue at New York on the first night of Hanukkah as dozens of children were on the grounds. Kathy Hochul took to the X, formerly Twitter, to announce that Tuesday gunfire that rattled Temple, Israel, in the state of capital, saying 28-year-old man was in custody and no one was injured. She added during a press conference that the suspect fired off a round from his shotgun while making threatening statements, and at least 24 preschoolers were on the premises in the early childhood center. The children have since been safely released to their parents. Anti-Semitism has been on the rise since Israel advanced into Gaza following Hamas' surprise attack on the country on October 7th. Hamas led the deadliest Palestinian militant attack on Israel in history. Israel subsequently launched its heaviest ever airstrike on Gaza. So, guys, this is not good. Not on the first day. We will continue in our house to pray that all of this madness ceases. All right, guys. Okay, so we have here Japanic, I guess that's how you say that, attack. Dollar dumps on the yen strength. The big techs rip ahead of a buyback blackout. This is in for your eyes only. And I guess this kind of goes along with this right here. Right? Just saying. So this is in for your action. Then we have also in your for your eye section a report here from the People. Trump is allegedly considering selecting as his running mate with an interesting twist. I'm hearing it's Tucker. I don't know. I didn't read the article, but hadn't had a chance to. And then they're saying at least Pelosi stuck around. Matt Gaetz responds to McCarthy's end-of-year resignation, leaving Republicans with one seat majority. I think that's kind of a doggy move, but, you know, Who am I? Anyway, and here again, I'm going to sit here for a second with this up on the screen, guys. I'm not reading this. I don't think he's gotten any stories back up, but I do want to show you kind of what's going on. Earlier tonight, his stuff was attacked, and so everything was deleted. And I just so happened to have this on my phone still pulled up, and I was able to screenshot it. So that's how come I have this article still. That's the only reason. Anyway, so they took down all his stuff.
Anyway, there you go.
My husband. Anyway, God is good, isn't he, guys? Hello there, Heidi. How are you, honey? How about that? It's ridiculous, ain't it, Rip Curl? It's sad. It's absolutely sad that they would threaten to send our families to fight in Russia if we don't give them aid. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is. And it is a hot mess, sister. It is. Absolutely, guys. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for you this evening. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. And if this article gets back up here, guys, I will gladly post this in the Wixit. I just don't know how to get it there. But you can see that this part of the Japan thing, that there was some issues. And we covered that. And there is an article from Zero Hedge about the Japanic, as he called it. So anyway, we'll just have to wait and see how things are going tomorrow, I guess. Anyway, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys later. See you in the morning for my prayer warriors. We have a mighty powerful time in the morning, guys. I hope you'll join me. Anyway, God bless.